So today I'm investigating one of the last American Confederate cities, but in Brazil.
A lot of symbols, the uniforms.
His grandparents were slaves.
If you enter private property, they could shoot you and they can get away with it.
Should we do it?
Let's do it.
Okay.
And so instead of the southern US, why was I in South America, where until recently they were having annual Confederate festivals hosted by direct Civil War descendants? So I wanted to explore the truth with my Brazilian friend Andre to find out. But will we be able to do so without putting ourselves in danger? So first, I wanted to ask the locals here in Santa Barbara. Are you born and raised here in Santa Barbara?
Yeah, I'm from Santa Barbara, but I know the region pretty well.
What do you think about the festival that has recently been canceled in this city?
É cemitério dos americanos, ele é separado da cidade, é lá profundo. Fui uma vez, mas bem molecão, eu não lembro direito, viu? Eu não sou chegado a essas coisas.
I think it's only this year that was canceled the Confederate Party, and we have a lot of protests and movements against the symbols, the flag.
What are your thoughts on this city? Do you think it has a racist past?
Cara, eu acho que tem, mas nenhuma pessoa aqui da cidade é racista. Todo mundo bem, todo mundo bom, trabalhador, humildade, respeitoso.
So I'm curious, did there used to be a lot more like Confederate flags around the city?
No, Confederate flags no, but we have a party.
Oh, like a
It was
festival.
a festival. A lot of symbols, the uniforms. The people say, oh, I understand that from the general. They used to run here like it's a kind of a pride thing, not think about the racial implications or the fact that they come for here to continue slavery. The symbols is like a hate symbol for a lot of groups. You can continue this.
And so for the last 40 years, this festival with music, Southern food, and of course Confederate flags were held at this nearby cemetery where over 500 Confederate descendants are buried today. But in 2023, the festival was finally canceled as a city council unanimously voted to classify the Confederate flag as a racist symbol, leading to its ban. On one side were descendants of Confederate families who hosted the festival, and they just saw the flag as a symbol of resistance to tyranny and as a means to preserve traditions. And on the other side were the increasing global racial sensitivities in 2020 and initiatives from organizations like the Black Union for Equality. And as we'll also see later on, the city councilman who wrote and sponsored the law that led to the ban. But the question remains, why the hell is this even a thing in Brazil? In 1866, around 10,000 defeated Southerners, attracted by inexpensive land, settled in Brazil. And it makes sense when you learn that Brazil was the last country in the Americas to abolish slavery.
After the Civil War, some Confederates immigrated from here to continue excavation and racial segregation. That was the thing they lose in the Civil War.
And so today, even with Santa Barbara being a majority white city, not only do they have white Civil War descendants, there are also descendants of slaves.
Meus avós foram escravos, que eu descobri.
And after speaking with researchers at the city's Immigration Museum, it seems that public exhibits showcasing the complete story of the city's history have only been introduced this year.
We were fortunate enough to get into the Immigration Museum while they are starting a new exposition that is about the slavery. And this is the first time that any of these facts are spoken out loud. It seems that they like to hide this past of slavery in the city.
Because in many ways, the festival only revealed one side of history. And with the ongoing debate over Confederate symbols and monuments in the United States, we had to find out for ourselves. Where do you think we should go now to explore more of the city to find out about this?
The cemetery, you will find the curious people, the interesting people.
The curious and interesting people, I guess that's us.
They love to talk about it. They're like very gentle, very talkative, but you know, the stuff.
I guess we gotta go check it out. Yeah. So we decided to go to the Confederate cemetery where the festivals used to be held. Because before we decided to come here, believe me in that we damn near tried everything.
Guys, whatever you guys do, you can't leave the town until we get an interview with the Confederate.
Okay, but we've tried to reach out to so many people and still didn't get any responses.
Yeah, we did. I mean, we could try and like see if there's like random Confederates around town, but okay, last ditch effort. If we can't find someone, we're just gonna go to the Confederate cemetery and see if we can find like a Confederates interview there.
Yeah, go for it, do that. I mean, we need it for the story, bro.
Okay, but what can we ask them if we meet any descendant in town?
Yeah, it's true. We should probably come in prepared. Well, since this video is sponsored by Notion, why don't we just ask Notion AI to see if we can come up with some good questions to ask. As someone who uses Notion every day, Notion AI has allowed me to get busy work done faster so I can actually focus on making better and more videos for y'all. And with the launch of Q&A, I have an assistant that saves me time by looking through everything I've ever written in Notion, like summarize all activities I have planned for this trip to the Confederate city and getting me instant answers. Q&A is like my own executive assistant that I can use 24/7, and the best part is that it's trained on my Notion workspace of my documents, scripts, research, and meeting notes. And since Notion AI is the same place where I do all my work, I don't have to hop between notes or a separate AI tool like ChatGPT, and I can use AI at scale. Like look, for example, with a single click, I can generate summaries, pull insights, and identify next steps for my annual report. And that way I can best prepare for my quarterly all hands calls that I have with my team so I can spend my time working towards the mission. And you never know, maybe Notion AI helped me come up with the script for this integration. So get started with Notion for free using my link in the description and unlock the power of AI with only $10 a month. And now back to the video. And so it was time to see for ourselves if anybody just wanted to have a conversation.
Okay, so for everyone that doesn't know, I am also a lawyer, and from what I saw is if you invade a place that is not a house, someone's house, like no one lives in there, it is not a crime here in Brazil. It's not considered a crime. So if we by any chance end up invading this cemetery, we're not gonna be committing any crime, so we're fine, we're safe.
Are you sure about that?
I'm gonna check it right now on Google to make sure.
I don't know if I know in America, if you enter private property, depending on the state that you're in, they could shoot you and they can get away with it. So hopefully it's a little bit different here in Brazil. Oh, it's closed. If I had to guess, this is private property in Portuguese.
Yeah, you're right.
We see a couple numbers here.
This is like the housekeeper.
Okay.
The man who takes care of the place.
Okay.
And the
And
first
then
one, president, yeah.
I feel like we should call.
Well, let's give it a try.
So what does this say?
Play the bell ring. I think it's this.
Should we do it? Let's do it. Why not?
And,
Okay.
and then we try.
We're already here.
Oh.
Oh, I don't know if, do you think that alerted anyone? It just sounded like a little buzz here.
Yeah. Tudo bem? Qual que é o seu nome? Tudo bom. Ele não fala português. É americano.
No problem at all.
Oh,
He
okay.
can speak English too.
Great.
Or Deutsch. Or German.
No,
I'm
Deutsch,
sorry.
no Deutsch. No.
I'm here with my cousin. We were working in the construction down. We don't have time for this today.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
We're working with another people there. You talking to me?
Yeah, we got an email with him, and he said that
he said
yeah,
he will be today here.
he said
No,
that
no,
no. He said that
Just came here to see if there would be anyone here.
He should advise somebody here in Santa Barbara or Americana to be with you here, not just come over, okay,
Oh, no.
everything's
He didn't
alright.
say
Oh, he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't say. He
No,
didn't say.
that is his fault, not yours.
Oh, okay.
Not yours.
Yeah.
His fault.
He said that he would get back to us in the weekend, but the only days we could be around here would be today and tomorrow. Tudo bem? Ele é, eu não. Just like a bit discreet.
That's it, my friends. This is a not open cemetery.
It's a private,
cemetery. So we have some kind of problem with thieves. Sometimes vandalize some tombstones. They stole these plates from bronze or on other metals. They steal everything, and that's the reason why we should take precautions and close the cemetery.
And if you don't mind me asking, what is your role here? Are you one of the members?
I'm a member.
Got it. I see.
And you are descendant of?
Yeah, I'm a descendant.
I know, like recently this year, like the festival got canceled.
Yeah, there's a problem with the flag, with the meanings of the flag, and we try to explain that people here are not racist. We don't have problems with this. We never had problems with this. It's the first time that we need to stop with the parties because I don't know the name of the movement, but they pushed, and then there's a law that forbids any kind of. They consider the flag a racist symbol. We understand it, so then we stop it because. Oh! Tá.
Is your plan to like bring it back in subsequent years or?
Party? Not anymore.
Not anymore.
There's no plan for you. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, I need to go.
No
problem.
worries.
It was
Sorry to
lovely
hold you
talking
up.
to you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. I'm glad that we came here. That was very interesting. So as he said, he was a Civil War descendant that immigrated here to Brazil. It was like felt so secretive, didn't it? It just like everything.
Yeah, he wasn't behind the fence.
Yeah, he was behind the fence, poking like one eye out. They were working on something. Like what did that even mean, working on something?
They didn't seem too excited about it. In the past, they used to be very talkative, but it seems that nowadays, like, they're being, like, they're afraid of expressing their true beliefs, you know?
Okay, so it's been a few hours now since we got back from the cemetery. I'm in my hotel room at the moment, but I just received this email. He's one of the board members of the group that we were looking to talk to. I would like to inform you that the institution's executive board did not authorize the participation of the institution's representatives in its video, nor their entry into the Campos Cemetery to take filming or photos. Given this brief, we do not conduct interviews as we do not want to expose our community to baseless attacks and accusations. And to be honest, that's perhaps a fair point. Are these Confederates in Brazil being judged unfairly due to the flag's negative connotations to racism and white supremacy in the US? Where in reality, maybe they just want to be left alone. And the flag and the festival is really more so about preserving their ancestors' traditions and culture. And do I also need to check myself, because since you're watching this video, obviously I still decided to make it, and that I'm potentially exposing a group to unwanted attention. It's the difficult part of this mission to explore the unfamiliar, and that I'm always trying to find truth and find the middle ground, but sometimes at what cost? And so with that said, I'll need to reflect on more of that for now, but I wanted to ask Americans on what their current view of the Confederate flag is. First thought impression, where do you think this is?
Somewhere south in the United States, so I'm guessing like Texas. I've never seen so many non-white people around the Confederate flag before, so.
What are your thoughts on the Confederate flag?
I think that it is misrepresented and misunderstood.
I never really liked it because the people that, you know, display it and whatnot have always been not the nicest people. And then, you know, once like learning about it, I realized it's probably because the people displaying it still have these, you know, not ideal ideas. I feel like some people like the controversy of it.
Most people who wave the Confederate flag around are doing so not for the representation of slavery, but the representation of culture. While I understand how it can be offensive to some people, I also think there's something underlining maybe going on where people are trying to silence history, which usually is not a good thing. The best way to not repeat history is to learn about it and understand it. These are, I think, really misunderstood as far as what they actually mean.
And so whether you're an American born in Texas or a Brazilian, the debate always just comes back to preserving history and heritage or removing hate and racism. And so since we couldn't directly talk to one of the heads of the Confederates, it was important that we at least got to hear someone with just as clear of a stance, but on the other side. And so that's exactly why we got in touch with Esther, a councilwoman who actually wrote and sponsored the law that banned the Confederate flags in the festival. Well, nice to meet you. Could you explain to me who you are and what you do?
Prazer é todo meu. Meu nome é Esther, eu sou advogada e atualmente eu estou como vereadora aqui em Santa Bárbara do Oeste.
You seem to be part of the Parte Libertad, which seems to be more of like a right-wing party that tends to prioritize freedom of speech. In that instance, why are you personally against the Festa Confederada?
É importante ressaltar que nós não somos contrários à festa, nós somos contrários aos símbolos racistas utilizados nessa festa. E o nosso compromisso em debater o uso desses símbolos, então a gente sempre militou dentro do movimento negro, do movimento voltado às mulheres pretas, dentro desse movimento era um tema muito debatido. Eles já pediram que retirassem a bandeira e foi um compromisso que nós assumimos em debater isso dentro da Câmara Municipal, sob a ótica de que a Câmara Municipal, enquanto Casa do Povo, precisa abraçar também essa temática.
I'm curious, like, has the Confederate Federation in this town, have they ever been convicted of some sort of like hate crime or anything like that?
A gente tem relatos, principalmente do pessoal do movimento negro, quando eles começaram, nos dias que a festa acontecia, e eles relatam que as pessoas passavam gritando e chamando eles de macaco, jogando, é uma estrada de terra, então eles passavam rápido com o carro para jogar a poeira em cima deles.
Yesterday we went to go talk to one of the people there, there, and it seemed like, for at least on their side, that a lot of people were vandalizing the cemetery and their tombstones and their property. What do you think about that? Do you think you would condone that action, or do you think that's more of a response to maybe the hate that they've perpetuated so far?
Eu não tenho conhecimento sobre isso, estou sabendo agora por vocês, que eles fizeram aqui para nossa região, enfim, e locais como, por exemplo, o cemitério, onde ali estão pessoas que são importantes para nós, para a família deles, não podem ser tratados dessa forma.
How are you guys going to balance and coexist with a group that has undoubtedly, in a way, founded the city, and there's obviously still descendants that live here, while, I guess, still respecting maybe part of the town's wishes to not have these racist symbols, as you may call it, perpetuated?
Então, aqui em Santa Bárbara, nós temos uma lei que proíbe o uso de símbolos racistas em festas públicas ou que precisem do alvará. Ou seja, eu acredito que aqui no nosso país, a gente tem um contar de uma história e que não leva em consideração a história do povo preto. Hoje, vocês vão lá no Museu da Imigração, tem todo um projeto voltado aos primeiros negros escravizados que foram vendidos.
He said that it's hard to find what was not been said, what hasn't been said. There are some documents that there is information that people don't speak about. The name of the exposition is The Silence That Screams.
Em Santa Bárbara é a mesma coisa, a gente tem uma história que é contada. E existe uma outra história que foi totalmente invisibilizada, que é a história do povo negro. É um caminho longo, mas que a gente avançou.
So, what is the path forward? Because if the festival is about celebrating culture and heritage, can't they just do the same thing with the American flag instead?
He's saying that because in the past it was called American Festival, but then it turned into Confederate.
In a recent 2018 bulletin, the group has clearly stated that it does not discriminate based on race, gender, color, age, religion, or any other basis. But for some, a symbol's historical context can never be erased. Like for Esther, the flag represents oppression that the black population doesn't want to carry any longer. And for protesters in over 100 civil society groups in Brazil that have criticized the festival as promoting white supremacy, a symbol can also forever be tainted by the past. So, will the festival return? Based on the Confederates' reluctance to talk to us or anyone, it seems like they're trying to stay low and doesn't really seem like it's gonna return. But just like the public debate in 2017 between black activists and the Confederates, maybe it's naive and simplistic, but the only way forward is conversation. Because without difficult conversations, there will never be progression. And controversy only exists when a society refuses to talk about it or haven't found the best way to confront it. But I guess that's up to us to lead the way. And that's exactly the mission of exploring the unfamiliar. So subscribe if you want to see more unbiased journalism, and also sign up to my free newsletter where we tackle the latest news stories and interesting research every week to help you navigate these unfamiliar times. And if YouTube gets it right, then you'll like this video too.